Alright, so this is our map of the United States in the era in which we are discussing in U.S. History Unit 2. So, I've constructed this this map of the United States, and as you can see, we've got this clear division between the South and the North. And the North is basically everything in blue. So this includes the Midwest and everything to the west, but just to keep it simple, we've got the South and then everything else in blue. So as you can see, the surface of the South is made out of the magma block, which represents the lynchings that occurred throughout the South during this time. Just an incredible amount of violence and everything. That made it extremely hostile for everyone. And there's also fences and iron bars everywhere, and this just represents the systemic racism that prevented African Americans from making any kind of personal progress in their own lives. So both of these things are push factors that drove African Americans out of the South during the Great Migration and into the North. And in addition to that, we can see that there's a clay ceiling above the entire South, making it impossible to go straight from here and really go anywhere. So into the North, there's an extremely different surface. There's the blue surface, and this represents the cultural freedom of the North, and the blues music and many other cultural aspects that were completely not allowed in the South and not permitted, but were available in the North. And then there's another ceiling, but this one's made out of glass, and so now it's at the same level as that of the South, but it appears to not exist, but it really does exist, and that prevents any kind of growth as well, but it appears to be far better. And so that's a pull factor out of the South and into the North. And we also have similar pens, but they're not as extensive, and they are also made of glass. So they're harder to see, but they're still there. They're more subtle, but they still affect the lives of African Americans in the North. And for this reason, they're fewer and they're farther apart and they're bigger in themselves, but they do exist, and they have concrete effects for the entirety of the experience of the African Americans in the North. And then we also have this redstone circuit. This represents, obviously, the huge amount of labor opportunities for African Americans in the North as compared to the South, where there are none. The pay is extremely better, and there's a large amount of labor to be done in the North that African Americans had the opportunity to do and be paid well for. So this is an illustration of push and pull factors in the U.S. during the Great Migration, and factors that ultimately shaped how the United States is distributed and is the way it is today.